So what's up? Umbro, uh, you were chosen for the MrBeast games, the Squid games, the anti-capitalist show. Um,
Uh-huh.
why don't you tell me about that? We talked a little bit like your pre thing, but
hmm
uh I might put that up. It's unfortunately got this weird self audio echo. I only noticed like in post
Wait, I
recordings.
have an idea. I have an idea.
Huh?
Because I am in gamer now. Because I was just playing Fortnite, so I did exit out of that. Okay, it should be good.
I mean, you can play well, uh,
Oh,
chatting.
I was playing with like Ajax and a couple other people, but it's fine. They said I was fine to leave, so.
All right. Um, yeah. So, you wanna tell us about that? I mean, we can start about like how you got picked because a lot of people
hmm
didn't know how MrBeast chose people. Even I'm a little bit fuzzy on the details. I believe I
hmm
gleaned them from you, but like you want to go over
Yeah.
like how you got picked, what you were feeling, your motivation for even going cuz I mean the odds of being picked for anything like that.
hmm Very, very low.
Give
So
me a
here's
second.
how it started. Oh,
Uh there we go. Okay. Sorry, game audio stuff was fucking up. Go ahead.
so how it started was let me check the date. It was the 20. I'm gonna say the 30th of October when they were like, "Hey, this is our latest hoodie. This is the Mystery Squid game. If you buy the hoodie, we'll pick you. 100 people will be picked to fly down or fly up or fly left or right because there were people that came from everywhere." So I was like, okay, because as a fervent MrBeast hoodie collector, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna buy their new limited edition run. So I was like, you know what, I'll buy it. If I get picked, I probably won't, and I most likely won't. But I was like, okay, fine. It's a great added to the collection. I have 12 hoodies, including the one that I just bought. I was like, okay, I'll buy it anyway. So about a week and a few days went by, or not a week, a few days went by, and I was like, I had just gotten out of the shower. I was watching one of my favorite YouTubers live streams on the 2nd, or no, it was the 26th. Yeah, it was the 26th. So the 26th was when I am tripping right now. Okay, I am terribly sorry. 23rd. 23rd was when they released the hoodie. I got called the 26th. I was sitting on my bed watching one of my favorite YouTubers live streams, and they called me and it was like, hey, you just got picked to be in the games. I was like, what? I was super excited. I was super like, I'm like, am I tripping right now? Did I just accidentally do drugs? But I'm like, no, I didn't. This is real. This isn't a dream. I actually got picked. So they said, hey, we're going to fly you out. Here's the ticket information. Do a bunch of very important paperwork that is legally binding and that proves that this is not fake. And it's not fake. It is 100% real. So I did all that paperwork. They reached out. I reached out. I had a million and a billion questions on what it would like. How are they going to get all the people? But all of this would be explained later. So they flew me out the 7th of November, and they got a hotel. I met people from a bus. We made friends. Put heavy quotes around that. And next day, so they said, hey, wake up at 5:30. We need you on buses at 6. We need you here at 6:30. So we got up at 5:30 and we got to the game. So we pulled up. There was, again, 450. Well, there's 456 of us that showed up. They picked 100 from hoodie and shirt, and they picked 10 people on live stream. The other 346 people came from locally. Like, all of them were from college, or they just found a form to sign or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah.
Okay.
Actually, I'm forgetting about the people they pulled from TikTok. They pulled a bunch of people from TikTok as well.
Okay.
I'd say
So
about
there was
10.
a lot of different ways you could have gotten picked.
Yes.
I mean, still your chances of getting picked were super
Slim to
slim,
none.
but like because I thought you got picked from the live stream actually. I didn't even know cuz I don't
Oh,
actually
yeah.
watch MrBeast. I don't really watch a lot
Mhm.
of YouTubers to be honest. Uh I just watch random one-off videos a lot of the time. But
Mhm.
like, so he just did a merch line, got 100 people from there, and
Yep.
then
10 from live stream, and I believe it was like 10 from TikTok.
yeah,
So 336
and then he just
was from,
locally sourced the other
yeah,
stuff. By the way,
the
I'm
other people.
curious. Like, I have to imagine that it was a real person who called you, right?
Oh yeah, there was a real person,
Yeah. And like when
and she
you
was really
sign
nice.
up to get the merch, I guess you had to give them like your phone number and stuff.
Yeah, you give them your phone number or your email. See, I was
Okay.
told actually a couple people got an email, and a couple people got like a text message, or something like the TikTok. They just got DM'd. Like I remember one guy, he had like a pizza channel,
Uh-huh.
and that was pretty cool. It was only pizza, and it was just like just seeing
Just
like a bunch of
pizza.
people there was crazy. It was just pizza stuff. I forgot what he told me. I said I follow him, but I don't remember, and I don't even have TikTok anyway. But it's not important. So we pulled up. It was really cold. They told us not to bring jackets. Here's what, actually, no, let me start. They said, do not bring anything except your hotel key card. We were like, okay. But you know, about half the people didn't bring only their key card because that's how humans are. Not following basic instructions like, do not bring anything but your key card. They're sure there was these weird exceptions, like you can bring your glasses, a watch, that's fine. But like nothing else. Like there were people who literally brought vapes. They brought vapes in.
Hey
You're not
man,
supposed to do that.
you gotta get your nicotine. Our starting soon screen is me taking some fat rips off of the vape, alright? So I
Yeah, I
get
mean,
through
I
it.
don't even care. Vape all day, but they said not to bring it. Like, come on. So first day, we got there. We got our outfits, which were pretty cool. And they had like a bunch of games, a bunch of snacks everywhere. Like there was food trucks at the beginning, towards like to lunchtime. That was pretty cool. So that happened, and we didn't do any like official recording preparations until like 3, 4 p.m. Like we were there for about 6, 7 hours before we're doing anything.
Yeah, so were they just
So,
like gathering everyone for the 4 6 hours, prepping everything, or
I think they were just more of like, this is more of like mental preparation of what the games are going to be for. Like, hey, what is it going to be? What is it going to do? I don't know, because everyone had questions. Everyone did. Like,
so
how are
they
we
were
going to
just
get
going through like
eliminated?
all the questions and stuff too.
So at a certain point, they got everybody to line up in rows of 20 in like this huge arena. It's like a barn, but it was like the top was made of metal and it was really, really long and really, really wide. So you're like, okay, here's what we're gonna do. No, it was lines of 20. No, it was 1 through. No, my bad. It was 1 through 40. It was 1 through 4. No, I don't remember. It was a certain number. But they had us line up from numerical orders from 1 all the way to 456. So they lined us up and they took us by rows of 3. Like numbers 1 through 60, you go up and file to a certain area called the squip and phone area, which day 1, it was the squip, which basically was how you would get eliminated. They had us hang it around our neck and put it in between our shirt to signature if we were eliminated or not. So that happened. And then they gave us these phones, which come into play a little bit later. These phones that we would put around our right arm and have it under our jacket. That was for a motion, like a motion sensor, which I don't quite understood how all that worked
A motion
technologically
sensor. So
wise.
it's like
Yeah, it
a
was.
smartphone mood ring.
Yeah, it was all of us were iPhone. All they gave us iPhone 11s.
Of
Like
course,
they went all out for
MrBeast
this.
just casually giving people
iPhone
iPhone
11s.
11s for the sole purpose of detecting your
Yep,
emotions.
that's it. But none of us got to keep it. So after that happened, that took about an hour or two. And they had to say, hey, we're going to move you into this roofed area with like 4 walls. It's like a giant metal barn. But it was walls. It was like sealed off and stuff like that. And then the big guy, his name was Adam. I got to say, he's the sexiest man I've ever seen in my entire life. Can't change my mind. He's very tall, very muscular. That's a man. That's him right there. He's really 6'8". His ass was... It's not important. But he's the main guy behind the scenes. He was directing hundreds of people, including the staff. And I've always wanted to meet, like, what happens behind the scenes but it took goddamn forever. Like, it took hours and hours. It felt like forever before we did something. So they finally got us all into one room. And I've got a bunch of funny side stories, which I'll probably save for like later about like miniature things that were funny that happened. But whatever. So they got us in, and they had us all line up behind 3 big green doors, which if you watch the video, you'll definitely see what I'm talking about. So they had us waiting there for like 30 minutes to like sound test, drone shots, everything under the sun. Carl yelled penis at one point. That was the funniest thing I've ever heard in my life. Everybody laughed because it was so funny. So, and then they brought us in, and then it was huge. And I mean, the video, it looks cool from the video, but when you're actually there, you're like looking at how big everything is, it's surreal. Like, it's like, holy shit. Like,
you did spend $3 million on it. It better be
It's like I'm hearing numbers being thrown around of like 2 million, 3 million, 10 million, 8 million. It was, let's just say, millions were put into this. Millions were put into this. And then we were like, okay. So they had us take thumbnails. They had us do like picture shots of like us and stuff. At that point in time, I was more like to the left. I was in the very front of the left. But here's what happened. This is when the technological problems started. Is when they said go, and they said, hey, we're gonna have you stopped for like 5 minutes at a time. Just have us stopped. We were like, okay. But when you're after standing all day for hours on end, just waiting for stuff like that, it's very taxing physically. Very. So he had us holding our position for a solid 5 minutes straight. I remember when they started the timer at 60 minutes. That was the initial time, was 60 minutes. They said, hey, red light or green light, we go, and then we stop. And I said, red light. The longest one they held was for 5 minutes, from about 58 minutes to 53 minutes. And then this is at this point they really started realizing there was problems with.
Yeah, so this is for red light, green light. Okay, yes, just to clarify, so you guys are playing the game now.
Red light, green light. Yes.
Yeah, and so in between each red light, green light, it's like a 5-minute wait. Is that because they're like trying to figure out who moved during
it? It was this was only the beginning, and this only a 5-minute time point from 58 minutes. One of them popped accidentally, and a couple people popped because they got out.
I think your mic messed up there. It sounds like you're on your phone now.
So they couldn't properly.
Oh, okay, you're back. You were, I missed like almost all of that. It sounded like you were on your phone.
So, no, I accidentally opened my AirPods case.
Okay, so, yeah, the 10, like 5 minutes, etc.
So what happened was, during that 5-minute time period is we all stopped, and then some people's phones, like their batteries ran out, so their phone died. So they couldn't get out if they did move. So to make it fair, they paused everyone, and they were like, hey, just make sure you remember your spot. We're gonna, everybody is safe. Green light, everyone can like move around, sit down, get some water. So that happened, everyone got water, and we were all chilling, and then MrBeast came back with his like tech people, and they're like, hey, we just realized that this phone thing is gonna work. The Wi-Fi that the phones are tethered to is running into some problems. Let's give everyone $1,000 just for showing up. Everybody went crazy because they got a free $1,000, which is really cool. So, and then they're like, hey, go back to the hotel, get a large amount of sleep, and we'll have you back here tomorrow.
Okay.
So day one was just nothing.
Yeah, so just the super recap. So day one essentially was like beta testing day. He has this idea, 456 people or something like that, with iPhone 11s. That's already about 500,000. He tries to have, I don't know why he thought 456 people could connect to the same Wi-Fi. That's a lot of data you're transferring. But I'm sure he's got an incredible team that was just like, yeah, it would totally work.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so it turns out it wasn't working. I'm guessing they were using it to try to see, like, they were trying to use it for, like, geo-targeting. Like, did this person actually move? If they moved, like, I don't know if I would trust that. But yeah, it wasn't working. Some people's phones
Mm-hmm.
died because they're fucking iPhones. So you already had 6-7 hours of pre-production stuff, which is just pretty much
Yep.
normal for anyone who's ever not worked on a set. Whenever you're
Mm-hmm.
going into stuff, it's always going to be a large lead up.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes your people are going to be in chairs for 3-4 hours just having makeup done.
Oh
So
yeah.
yeah, those batteries are definitely gonna die. But yeah, so I guess he just was like, "Fuck it, here's $1,000 for everyone." So again, another half a
Yeah.
million. So he's already spent
That
he's already spent $1 million
it was
dollars.
yep.
And yeah, and then he's like, I guess he's gonna retool shit, and then he's calling you guys back
Yep.
to do it again so he can get that video. Because at this point,
Yeah.
he's already spent like $1 million. He's gotta get that video out now.
Automatically. Mm-hmm.
All
So
right, so
next
day
day,
2.
we had practice. So we actually got a little bit of practice into what the environment was going to be like, which was really helpful. So a lot of us got some experience just from being there. And so the next day, we didn't get there till like 12, just to give us like more time for sleep and whatever. So next day, they're like, okay, come on in, re-get your stuff. We got redressed, and we did the same thing. Filming didn't start till about 6. They all got us back, but this time they realized that standing up is a huge disadvantage. So this time they had us all sit down for a large majority of like the getting ready part. Like when we went into that large metal barn, there was chairs. We all sat down by numbers, by numerical order again. Which that took a bit to organize, but that was fine. So just to make it clear, what a squid, here's what it is. It is basically a necklace with like a. Okay, so basically the front. You hang it around your neck, and at the bottom, like basically like a necklace, but where the necklace point is supposed to be like a cross, it was like a big piece of white paper. And on that white paper, there was like a mechanism on that paper that had a battery, 2 battery slots. And then under that battery slot, there was like a bag. And it was wrapped in a rubber band to that little mechanism, which was sealed to the white paper. And that was used to signify if you got eliminated. I don't know how they operated it, but I'll get to that in a minute. Basically, they pushed a button, you got out. It popped, that signified you were out. It was a weird green and yellow color. It kind of looked like weird pee. Weird color. It smelled horrible. When I smelled other people got popped, it was terrible smelling. So that's what a squid, that's what it is.
Okay. And wait, were you just like, real quick, so I assume if they're having something to signify that you got out, that probably meant like if you got out you were still able to like hang around, or did you get out and then they were like, okay, fuck off, now we have to deal with, we already have 456 people, we don't need to deal with the people who aren't even like in.
So basically when it came to like games 1, when it came to the first, like when it came to, okay, so when it came to day 1, let me find the date on my thing quick. So when it came to day 1, they did not care. They said if you got out, you're on a bus, you're flying home the next day. They did not care. They wanted you gone because, again, you got eliminated. That's how this works. You're supposed to go home when you get eliminated. That's what happened. So day 1, 2, and 3, they didn't really have really heart-to-heart conversations with anybody that got out because you got out because there were so many people, which. You can't have heart-to-heart conversations with so many people all at once. So, yeah, it was basically like that for basically games 1 through 4.
Okay.
But so game 1 happened. I was to the far right. They just, like I said, game 1. They started out of the blue. We were all just talking. Jimmy got the camera. And it was like, hey, green light, out of nowhere. Like we weren't even expecting it. So they just called red light and we moved. And we started. But this time, instead of 60 minutes, there was only 30. And the number of guards were doubled, possibly tripled. There was like 50 of them in there, all along the walls. But unfortunately for me, I was on the right side of the arena. Or camera way, I was on the left. But if you're going forward in the arena, I was on the right. I was 1 hair away from the guards the entire way down. The entire way. which was terrifying.
So they would
So that
know
means I had-
if you
Oh,
fucking
yeah.
move. If you
Oh,
fucking
yeah.
breathe wrong, they might be blowing that whistle. Or how did they signify when someone was out? Did they just
So they
pop
had
your
phones.
collar
They
thingy?
had like phones and tablets, and they had all of the numbers on said tablet. And if they saw you move, they pushed your number, and boom, it popped. But the crazy thing is, I have a very interesting thing that happened to a person by the name of Number. His number was 250.
Uh-huh.
Here's what happened. He ran. He didn't stop. He even turned his head. He went 360 degrees. He didn't stop, and he didn't get out. Didn't get out. Like, they tried popping him, and they couldn't pop him. So he kept going. It was crazy. Like, this man is the luckiest person on the, or was the luckiest person on the face of the planet.
Did they let
Earth.
him, like...
They let him keep going.
Even though, like, he was, like, completely violating... So, I don't know if you've seen the actual Netflix show. In the Netflix show, obviously,
immediate death.
Yeah, they
immediate
so
death.
I'm just imagining Superman just fucking running through, like, just like, go ahead, shoot me again. I don't care.
Yep. They did not care for shit.
What a lucky son of a bitch. Imagine if they could just never fix it. Just fucking one by the default.
So I made it across. It was the same thing. Time. It went by fast. I'm just looking at that clock going, oh god, oh god. So I was midway through the challenge, about probably, there's probably about I was about halfway, about 15 minutes. But there was at one point when someone got offered $5,000 to get out, and they didn't take it, and they got eliminated. So big sad for them. Oh, they're probably in the video. They'll be in the video.
I've started watching some of his videos because, you know, MrBeast is my obvious competition according to my vidIQ, you know. Me and MrBeast are furious rivals, you know, 200,000 subs compared to his 80 million.
Almost.
But like I've seen that at least in there was one where like it was a Lamborghini, and if you took your hand off, you know, you lost it. Last one with it on, a classic challenge. And like he would start he was like first one to take their hand off, and before he could even finish, like someone already had their hands off.
Oh yeah.
And it's like you know, and gave him a new Lexus and stuff. So I see he does those little incentive things to like keep it spicy. Yeah.
But the crazy thing is, during the entire competition, only one of those, one time, one during the game was an offer given, and one not during the games was the offer given. It was crazy. Only 2 offers were given through that entire competition, which is very, very rare. Very rare. Usually there's like 5, like 6. Like there's like these weird things you can do. Hey, you want to win $10,000? You have to swing across this rock. Or you have to do something. But this time, this was weird. I was very surprised. But as someone who got far in the competition, I will say that, because I got far, I placed number 10. And I got all the way into the top 10. I made it all the way to game 5, and I got eliminated by a photo finish, which will be in the video. I mean, this is going to go up after the video is live. So I made it all the way to top 10. I got eliminated by a photo finish, which stinks, but that's how you get out. You don't get out by getting your squid popped. You get out by a photo finish, which has the viewers' hearts, and that means I'll be back for another video. I'm very hopeful of that, which would be awesome.
So what was game 2? So game 1, red light, green light. You pass by that, you get by. You have the guards breathing down your neck, just eyeing you, like just watching you, waiting for you to fuck up. Luckily you never do so. Game 2, what is game 2 like?
Game 2 was honeycomb, but before I get to that, I gotta see how many people got out first game. I gotta say how many people. It was a large, about half of everyone got eliminated. 232 people left after game 1, which means, if you do quick math, 226, nope, I am a dumbass. Pulling up calculator. 456 minus 232 is 224 people got eliminated in the first game, which is literally half. We'll call it half. So half people got our first game, which is crazy, but I'm not surprised. Game 2 was Honeycomb. It's probably one of the most infamous, well-known games in Squid Games because it's probably one of the most challenging due to its harshness and risky. So after that, they brought us into the infamous bedroom. It was like the room with a bunch of beds, if I could call it that. And they had a little announcement. It was more of just like a regrouping. It was like, let's move on to the next game. So they moved us into the playground. Which, I mean, was a playground. I mean, there was a huge slide. There was a swing, which 2 people almost broke, by the way. That was pretty funny. And then there was like a giant, like, they recreated it. Yeah, and then there was four large black windows. They were black, and they had us line up behind each door. You could pick any door. They said line up behind each door. So before that, I had met a group of people. We met, we vibed for a bit, and I came up to them. I was like, hey, can I join you? They were like, sure. So I joined with them. It's like, and they asked me what number we should pick. There was 1, 2, 3, and 4. I said, yeah, pick 2. So I picked 2, and we actually got to talk to the man himself, Chris. We got to talk to him, and we asked him, hey, what number? Which one should we pick? So he was like, okay, do not pick the outer 2. Don't pick the outer 2, the outer left, or the outer right. And then do not pick right because the majority of people are going to go right and pick left. So we were like, okay, sure. We did that. So they broke after about an hour and a half because this stuff took forever. They had the same thing. The guards would line up on the outside with the same thing. We all had our scripts on, and they all had tablets with the numbers. Carl was on top of the slide. He almost fell once. That was pretty funny too. Yeah. So they all had us line up in front of the doors and it was more of like an even spread along the entire thing, but there wasn't as many people in our line as there was the line next to us on both sides. So I would say the furthest line from us, the one all the way on the right, they probably had the most people in their line. So they brought out hammers, like large sledgehammers and pickaxes, and they were like, okay, we're gonna break the first door. So they broke the first door. It was Star. It was like, okay, Star is a complicated one, but it's doable. Complicated but doable.
Yeah, it's not the umbrella,
exactly
as we remember. By the way, did you see Squid Games before you?
I did watch a brief synopsis of all of the games except games 4, 5, and 6. I didn't watch that. I actually came back after I got home. I went and watched what the actual games were like. I was like, okay.
Wait, so even after getting picked, you didn't go, huh? Maybe I should watch the series though.
I did not
kind of watch the synopsis. Do you think so you saw the umbrella, you saw the honeycomb though game, right?
Yeah, I did.
Did that factor in at all for your choices? Like, were you like, all right, well, I remember the umbrella is on this side, the star is on this side, the circle is on this side.
Actually, I do not remember which was where. I do not know. I'd have to watch the show to find out. But they broke Star. It was like, okay. And then they broke the one next to the right of us, and it was Circle. So everyone in my group that I was with, they were looking at me, and I was looking at them, and we were like, this is a big problem. Like, this is not good. So, and here's where the ultimate luck came in for the competition for me, was they broke our door, and I remember looking over, because I'm short, I'm 5'5", don't roast me in the comments, but I remember looking over, trying to look over people's heads, and I remember seeing a point. I was like, is that? And as soon as I got a clear view, it was triangle, and it was red. Our entire line went crazy, because we got the easiest shape in honeycomb. The easiest shape. So, and I remember somebody's squip actually popped because we were celebrating so much. So that person had to go get another one because it popped for excitement of celebration, which was pretty funny.
Yeah.
I mean, the rest of that is history. I got the thing done and I
Yeah,
moved
yeah.
on.
So is it just like I mean, obviously, I don't know if I'll put it out literally today or if I'll wait for the video to come out so
Oh
that
yeah,
we can edit
you
it
should.
with the videos side by side. Um,
Oh.
so we can actually use the
Hmm.
examples. But I'm assuming it was literally like the actual honeycomb thing,
Oh
like
yeah.
so it wasn't
Hmm.
like
Needles
he
for the cookie,
tricked it out.
everything.
Okay.
Oh, everything. It was similar. Like my strategy was is I heard a lot of things are going around about like licking it
Yeah,
and
like
stuff
in
like
the
that. So,
show.
oh yeah.
In the show, if you don't know from the synopsis, he
I mean,
licks he gets the umbrella, he
hmm
licks the back, and that's where we also have the meme of people putting stuff in the honeycomb and having him
yep.
furiously lick it. But yeah,
hmm
so all right, so
So what I
you
did
win
was,
game two. Game three comes
yep,
along.
yep, which was later that day. So after that, about 90 people got eliminated that game, which is fine. So there's 142 people left in the games after game two. So they brought us all back into the bunker room, which was the bedroom.
Uh-huh.
And they were like, okay, there's 142 of you left. Now, if you get out now, I'll give you $4,000. That was the only offer that was given, to my knowledge, I think. I mean, they might have been given one at after game 5. I'm not entirely sure, but I assume not. So they gave an offer of $4,000. An exact 22 people got eliminated, but they left for $4,000, and that left 120 people left.
Now, real
Exactly.
quick, you knowing the future, you having pure hindsight, you know exactly when you're gonna get out, right? Do you
Yeah.
regret not taking the 4K?
2 words. Hell no. That's okay. I do not regret it at all because I had great experience and I got really far in the competition. So I'm completely happy with it. Like, actually, I'm happy.
Okay, so
I'm
you're not
happy with it.
upset. You didn't. I don't know. Sometimes now I know you got some money right for
Oh, yeah.
the thing. You got
Actually,
like
I
two
just.
grand or
Mhm.
something.
I got $2,000. I had actually just got that money today. Very
Nice.
cool.
So MrBeast does
So,
in fact pay out
it
uh
is true indeed.
for people who
And,
might think that he doesn't. But yeah.
yeah.
So
And actually, they told me they'd reimburse me because I had to buy food, and food wasn't really cheap. Because I had to buy some kind of food, and I couldn't get to stores. Like, I had to buy like the hotel. I had to get DoorDash food. So they told me they'd reimburse that. They told me to send them bank screenshots. I did, and they said, hey, they're received. And yeah, so that was really cool too. Like, they go over and above for people. It's crazy.
nice, nice. I'm
So
surprised he didn't have like some sort of spot. Honestly, I feel like that's a missed opportunity. MrBeast, call me. I also have marketing director on my resume. I feel like that was a missed opportunity for DoorDash sponsorship. By the way, if you use our coupon code, not for DoorDash but for Uber Eats, Molly20,
yeah,
you won't get anything, but it will show Uber Eats that you know they should sponsor me. So,
hell yeah.
but
So
yeah.
game 3, tug of war, and they said, hey, we're gonna bond into groups of 10. Get your teams now. So this was probably one of the more interesting parts of the competition where people broke off from each other, and 60% of the teams were straight cisgender males who were strong and buff. And they were like, who are so strong and we're so good. Who they were howling, they were like screaming, they were like, ah, doing all that traditional things, which was very sad. So, and my team was all diverse people of culture, which was awesome. Love those people. Not really though, but they were great at the time. And we looked at
Before
each
they
other and we were looking at all the
betrayed you.
teams. No, we'll get to that later. I do have one story when it comes to game 4. So we all looked at each other and we were like, well, we have no chance against these strong cis male guys. We were like, well, this isn't good. So they got us onto buses and they took us to another set, which had tug of war. Tug of war. I mean, so they all had us line up and like by our team number, which we were team 8, because I don't know why we were team 8, but we were team 8, and they They lined us all up. We were up there on this platform with our team number in front of us, right?
Yeah.
So what Jimmy did was, after Jimmy, he dipped his hand into like these weird little tissue boxes type things where he grabbed the ball and he pulled them out. He read the numbers, and that's what two teams were going against each other. It was complete by chance. So he read it off. About 40% of the teams that were strong guys, they got against each other, and a bunch of other teams that weren't as strong like us, they got against each other too. And there was 4 teams like us. So that left us, another team that was like us in very like strength level wise, and then there was 2 of those really big strong guys left, guy teams, and we were like, well, we made it this far without getting picked. So we asked Jimmy, I'm like, hey, can we get team 3, who was the not as strong team, made us fair? So we asked him, he's like, oh no, let's make it fair. So he pulled out numbers. So we wanted team 3 and they wanted team 8, which was us. And he held them up and he pulled out numbers 9 and 11.
Yeah. Did you guys?
So as soon as that happened,
yeah, 9 and 11. But did you guys know the game at this point? Because it sounds like it's tug of war. Okay, yeah, so you guys knew it was tug of war already, and so it literally is just like the show. Because in the show, most of the people all paired up to be with the guys and stuff. You wouldn't want women, you wouldn't want old people on your team, which makes sense. Because you're playing for marbles, you're playing for keeps. You wanna win. So you guys are there. You're so you guys won yet at that point when you're like
no, they were just getting like the matches started.
Okay, like, so you guys hadn't like, so it's only one go around that you guys have to win, and so you guys are trying to get the other mixed team and not the team full of linebackers.
Of course, for sure. Yeah. So what happened is we had went. And then we got the non-strong guy team, which was really awesome. Which we went crazy. So we were really happy about it. That must have been
great for the other team to see you celebrating that you're fighting. That's gotta be super demoralizing. Imagine someone celebrating, like you're doing fights and someone's celebrating that they got you.
But we were both happy because we were both like of similar strength levels. So it was really, both of us were really excited, and then the other 2 guy teams fought. So we were supposed to be the last team up. But before I tell you what happened during the game, I got to tell you a backstory of what happened with team 3. So due to the fact that, remember, I did say that all of the guys were together during the games. And there were some unfortunate people who got kicked out of those teams because they were not as strong, or even if they were girls, or even if they were not as, like, there was people of color, there was trans people there, there was gay people there, which was awesome, and I loved how they did that. Loved it. It was awesome. And those said people got kicked. They told them, hey, we don't want you on our team because of that, which really stunk. But again, I remember saying this to people then, like, you can't do anything about it. So 2 people from Team 3 were so mad that happened. They cried. They screamed a bunch of feminist slurs, which I don't quite understand, but you can't control everybody, which is fine. And they downright quit. They quit. They just walked off set. Where did they go? No clue. But they just left.
And what did Mr. So people were being kicked because they were
kicked
like
from other teams. Yeah. No, it was like, because basically a part of them, they were girls and they weren't allowed.
Oh yeah, the girls.
The strong guy team. Yeah.
Yeah, of course. I mean, hey, listen, equal rights. If I had if I had a lineup of like Ronda Rousey versus some nerd, I'm taking Ronda Rousey. But if it's Ronda Rousey versus the fucking Undertaker or John Cena or some shit, I'm taking John Cena every time.
Yeah.
But
you can't.
Yeah. So the girls are upset. Yeah. So there was 2 girls. They didn't get picked for any team.
And they had to join a random team that they just didn't like.
But they didn't want to be on that team. And so they're like, fuck you guys, because we're not on the all-guy team, the big boy team. We're going home. And does Jimmy just, like, see this and go like, well, okay, bye, or does he acknowledge it or try to smooth it over?
I think he did try, but they were so mad. Like one of the girls who came and talked to us on our bus, like she was infuriated. Like she was really mad, and I understand that, but you did have to know like a group of people. Like I had a group of people I met from my bus, and we were like together for tug of war. Like there's some do or die. I didn't realize that this would be necessary, but when it comes to situations like that, you have to have somebody you know that you vibe with. Like you have to, and if not, you're screwed. Like I remember seeing people walking around alone, and I'm like, and sure, you have to be like a dog, and you have to follow them wherever they go. But like, if you want to progress in the competition, like I did, you have to. It's a necessary, and if you don't, you're not going to have some people that are acquaintances, and you're going to get eliminated due to the fact you don't know anybody. For team games like that.
It's the ultimate, it's the ultimate when the teacher says, all right, everyone, group up in groups of like 2 and lets the class choose their partners, and you're the quiet kid in class. And
exactly, nobody comes to you.
Yeah,
it's like that.
And you gotta find someone whose best friend isn't there that day. So if you didn't find a group, he kept it true to the game, it sounds like. And if you didn't find a group, you got
you're fucked.
Yeah, you got eliminated. Except for I think actually in one scene, it was only one person who didn't have a group, and she actually got to stay in, ironically. But yeah, these 2 girls got BTFO'd. So you guys all finally get your teams together. You're all ready to go for tug of war. How does that go against this other weaker team? I mean, well, obviously we can spoiler alert it and say you won clearly.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah,
because there was only 8 on the other team.
Oh, so they had less people?
Yeah, because they quit.
Oh yeah, I guess they did quit. Oh man, so not only did they quit in a rage because they didn't get to get on the surefire winning team. They fucked over 8 other people.
Yep.
So they could have easily have won because this is a pretty balanced team from what you're saying.
Yeah, it was balanced, like us. It could have gone either way.
Oh man, well those girls fucked up multiple once in a kind of lifetime opportunities there because they were being bitter. But you know, sometimes bitches be crazy. Okay, so you win game 4.
Team 1 that left 60 people.
60
game
people.
3.
Yeah.
That left 60. They brought us back into the bunker room, which this was one of the most. It was more of the most shocking parts of the competition. Was when they were like, "Oh, oops, we're gonna pair you with your best friend," because for marbles, like we're gonna pair you with your best friend. I'm like, I'm thinking, I really don't have one. But right after game 2, I kind of met this person who left nameless. Their number was 051. I will leave them nameless because they are dead to me. Here's what happened. So they paired me with 051. And I was like, okay, I had met 051 right after game 2, and we kind of we vibed. But it was more than vibing. I gave this person massages because they said their legs, their arms, their shoulders hurt. So I was like, okay, can I help you? And they were like, sure. So I gave them massages.
This is starting to sound like it's gonna go in a
it is
sort of direction here.
I'm getting to it. So we even got intimate at one point. We held hands for a decent part of the night. We held each other's hand. We even touched each other for a little bit. Like we got really close. I have no idea how for shit that happened. It just did. And I was okay with it.
Wait, this is fun. You guys were Netflixing and chilling in MrBeast's game. You guys were
kind of, yeah.
You guys were you guys full on intimate or?
No, it was more of just like little like tease stuff. It was more of like let's just touch each other for a little bit.
Okay, that's okay. When you say that,
like that.
When you do you just mean hugging or?
Yeah, more of like
Okay.
hug, no
So when
kissing
you're
or like.
saying we're just touching each other for a little bit, you understand that
Yeah.
like that sounds
Oh, I see what
completely
I
different.
see what that implies. Okay.
Holy shit.
Never mind. We got
Okay.
close. Let's just leave it at that. We got close.
All
So
right.
we got picked, and we were just like, oh, that's next. But then again, I mean, I was starting to get into my game face. I'm like, okay, what game are we gonna play? So they announced that they brought us into the marble room, and my feelings for this person, they kind of just went through the dirt. I was just like, I don't really care anymore because I want to win.
It was band
So
camp, you know, after band camp. You know, what happens at band camp stays at band camp. You can't come back 10 years later like, remember band camp, the moments we shared? Nah. It
nope.
stays there.
I was turning into. I was thinking. I'm like, what do I do? So like, they announced 30 minutes on the clock. We were like, huh. What do we do? And they said, you can pick. And Jamie was like, you can pick any game you want. Just one of you needs to be eliminated, and one of you needs to have 20 marbles. It was a do-it-yourself game. And you know, there's obviously those people that were like, you know what? Let's do a 50-50. Let's do a coin flip to be in the video. Like, okay. And Chris actually brought that to a couple of people, which was pretty funny. So 2 people actually did a 50-50, didn't even care about the game. Which I was like, but I'm like, I didn't want to do that because I'm like, that's just too much. And that kind of brings the level of competition to a minimum. So my 051 was like, you know, let's do a game where it was really confusing. I didn't understand it. But this person was like, let's draw a hole, a tiny hole, like a little dig, and we throw our marbles into it. I was like, huh? I had no clue what it meant.
Oh,
And
yeah,
don't think
because
this
you didn't
person
watch
either.
the show.
No,
You
I
were at
didn't.
such a disadvantage because you didn't watch the show. Oh, no.
But here's what I did. I used that to my advantage. And I persuasively, calmly, but with a little bit of force, I'm like, hey, how about we play this game? And I was like, you know what? Let's sit further a distance from each other, and let's draw a circle in between us. And I toss one marble in, you toss a marble in. If both of us make our bubbles in, we both keep our marbles. You take one marble, I take one. It's like a risk game with little tosses. So
Yeah.
I would throw 2, she would throw 2, or they would throw 2, I should say. They would throw 2, I would throw 2, we would keep our 2. And if one of theirs got out, I would keep all 4 if mine 2 were in. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. So like it's an accumulation too. So if you keep on betting 1 and 1 and 1, you have the least amount of
I mean, it went by turns.
Yeah.
Like, we didn't go like 1, then 2, then 3, then 4. Like, we went by turns. Like, some rounds we did 3, and others we did 1. Yeah. So, and then I had won that game completely fair and square, all the way up to me having 19, and they had 1. Right?
Yeah.
So we were like, we were stuck. We actually had narrowed the circle down to like a decent small size. And we were stuck on, I was at 19 and they were at 1 for like a good 5 minutes. It was crazy. Like, we were on that for like a long time. And during the span of the entire game, we had Chandler came over to us. I demonstrated. Chris came over to us. I demonstrated. And Carl even came over to us.
I know who all these people totally are.
That's okay.
Because I am a MrBeast fan. And I know exactly... yes, Carl. He's the one. He's the one that made it rain hands. And stabbed that man 27 times.
Oh my God!
He didn't know that it killed people. But yeah, go ahead.
So I explained it to them, and then I had finally won, and they were like, "Oh, I didn't agree to this game," and "Oh, I didn't want to play it," and "Oh, you made me play it." I was like, "Listen, bitch." I'm just kidding to say that. I was like, listen, but you agreed. You played the game, and I won fair and square. And I looked at the GoPro that was right next to us. I'm like, look, that GoPro caught all of that on camera. What do you mean you did? Oh, I didn't agree. Yeah, you did. Then what'd you play? Oh, but I didn't agree. I'm like, and that went on for like a good 5 minutes. And Adam, the main sexy black guy that came over to us, who led all behind the scenes stuff, he was like, what's going on? And I said, what's going on? I said, hey, I won the game. I explained the game. I demonstrated the game. to him, and I'm like, I won the marbles by our rules that we had set, and they will not give me the last marble at all. I was getting very, very frustrated very, very quickly because of like this is like petty preschool playground type shit. Like this isn't preschool. This is for $456,000. I'm like, listen.
I mean, if you watch the show again, I'm gonna keep on saying that it's exactly how it is in the show because money will. It's not even close to the same amount because in the show it's like $30-something million. Plus, it's also life or death. You know, there's
it's not like
but
getting killed.
You know,
like big disclaimer for everyone watching the video right now: be sure to wait before like the video, join the Discord, do it. But before, like, I completely forgot what I was gonna say. So let's just. I just lost my train of thought.
Yeah, Adam is there.
Yeah, that's right. Adam was talking.
You know, came up. He explained the rules to them.
I did, and he was like, "Listen, I can't do anything. That's it." And he walked off. And I was like, "Give me a marble." No, give me a marble. Glanced around. 2 minutes went by. I was like, I won. And they were like, fine, here's the marble. And they said, I brought up to the guard. I'm like, look, here's the 20. We double counted. They popped. I moved on. I was shaken. I was like, dude, this is crazy.
So like, they couldn't do anything, even if the...
Nope. Mm-mm. I mean,
even if they like could visibly, like they have the GoPro. What were the points of the GoPro then?
Just to watch, just to confirm.
Oh, well, yeah, I guess they need it for the content.
Yeah. I mean, it's not going to go in the video or anything, but that was just for them to confirm that,
well, hey, we don't know.
Did win fair and square. I don't know, but it's...
I imagine, though, he wouldn't put anything like the girls...
No, they definitely didn't.
Like, I would imagine he wouldn't put any of that in, because I definitely wouldn't. I would make that disappear real quick, just in case.
Because it's unneeded drama that you just can't control. So I won the game. I had meeting out, and I had found some people from our other group, right? And from the game 2 group. And I was like, yo, you guys are here. That's sick. And we vibed together. And then I found some other people from the other group. But I do have a side story when it comes to game 4. So it was after I'd won my marbles, and I was telling her to give me her last marble, and someone else decided they wanted to stick their fat little nose in what we were talking about. And because this had nothing to do with that person. And this was the person that was trying to like be friendly with everybody, promise if I win, we're going to go on a big family vacation, we're all going to have an orgy in our bathroom. It was that kind. There's always that kind of person, and that was that person.
Snake.
Yep, there always is. There always is everywhere. And that person decided they wanted to butt in. And I told them, hey, I told him on the spot, not caring that I had a mic on, there was a GoPro, I didn't care. I told him to shut the fuck up because I was getting angry because 051 wouldn't cooperate with me, and I just told him to shut the fuck up. And then these 2 girls who were just standing there like little bitches and doing absolutely nothing. There was about 10 minutes left on the clock, and they did nothing. They told me, oh, you don't need to talk to anyone that way. And they went on this whole little thing about, which they sounded like feminism. But I mean, I personally am a non-binary person myself, but that's not really important right now. But the fact that they got mad at me, even though it's not their business, like this is 7th grade middle school, and I had cheated someone of their pen or something like that. Like, these people are... they weren't smart. I was just shaking my head, looking at the ground in front of me. I was just like, dude, this is crazy. Why? Like, what are these people? Who do the hell do these people think they are? I was like, dude. I just stared at the ground. And then, so that was that side story. That was my game 4, which was probably one of the most stressful games through the entire competition because of that instance with that person. Yeah. Like, we vibed. We held hands, stuff like that. And you just come behind my back and be a bitch. It's like, really? You're going to do that? Cool. Thanks for wasting my emotions. Which I'm like, okay, fine. But, so, 30 people remain. Awesome.
All right. 30 people left. You've gone through an emotional roller coaster. Your summertime romance has ended. You're back in school, essentially. She's gone to a different school district. You guys have blocked each other on Facebook. She's subtweeting you on Twitter.
God.
Last game, game 5. Last game for you, at least.
We have actually. There was a game before game 5. We're gonna call it game 4.5.
Oh,
they
okay.
jumped out. They surprised us. I was very shocked. See, on the TVs in the bunker room, when there was 232 left, I remember looking at that TV, and there was a Brawl Stars logo under the number. I was like, why in Celestia's name is there a Brawl Stars logo under the number? I was so confused. I was like,
a Brawl Stars logo?
A Brawl Stars? It's a Supercell game. I was like, why is there a Brawl Stars logo there? I was so confused. And here's where this comes into play. So they had brought all 30 of us back into that bunker room with there was a total of 5 beds in there, or none. No, there was no beds. So what happened is they said they lined us up in 2 rows of 15. All of us were about 3 feet apart. And they had Dochi. They had the red ones on the ground and the blue ones in our hands. We're like, hey, we're going to play Dochi. Well, going into Glass Bridge, there's only 16 people. So we need 14 people to get out. And I was like, oh, sugar, honey, iced tea. I was like, this is a problem. So I will send you a picture of the red. I managed to grab the red piece, and I have that. I'm going to keep that forever. That is permanently with me until I die. I have a red Dochi piece of paper. I'll give it to you on Discord of what that is. I don't know if you can put that in or something like that for reference. All right, back to the video. So they all had us with the red pieces on the ground, blue pieces in their hands. I said, hey, we're going to play Dochi. 14 of you need to get eliminated. This is the sponsored part of the video, which is sponsored by, you guessed it, Brawl Stars.
Okay, Brawl Stars being the, just because I looked it up, Brawl Stars being the mobile game, right?
Yes.
Okay, sure. And so I don't know what the fuck a Dochi is. I'm not sponsored by Brawl Stars. I can talk all the shit I want until they pay me. Please pay me. I'm very cheap. I'm a very cheap whore. So it's these red pieces, these blue pieces. What?
It's pieces of paper. So let me. Is the Squid Game itself copyrighted material?
The fucking show, yes. But
okay, let me.
You can show pictures. I can show pictures and shit.
Okay. So yeah, it's just Squid Game. Yeah, here it is. Squid Game Dochi. So let me quickly. Here is what Squid Game Dochi Demon. Squid Game Dochi. Let me just search videos. It'll probably have me. How to make? Oh, it's Dakji. Yeah.
Listen, I don't speak your moon runes, all right?
Yeah.
I speak Chinese and French, not Japanese.
Basically, it was a game we had to use a piece of paper to throw a piece of paper on the ground and flip that piece of paper over to where the logo was facing up.
Oh, okay.
That's basically what it was.
See, it's the intro. It's the intro game for the show on Netflix.
It is. It's the introduction game.
Okay, and so it's just he tied it in with the sponsorship by So it has nothing to do with the mobile game. Because I was real fucking confused. Because I've never played the mobile game, but I've seen the fucking ads, and I'm like, what?
Yeah.
I honestly, when you were describing these red pieces and stuff, I thought you guys were about to start beating each other up with foam bats or some shit. But okay, all right, you're trying to flip the bean bags with your bean bags and stuff. Okay, cool.
Yeah, piece of paper. So and then so what happened was I was the 7th person to successfully flip over my piece of paper with my piece of paper. I was really happy about it. I kind of screamed because that's how things go when you win a game. You get excited. So I got really excited. I moved over to the little corner they had, and I had actually watched a bunch of people that I had made acquaintances with get eliminated. It was really sad. But my name is Hey. Drop those emotions immediately. I'm moving on. Really excited about that. Made it past the survival game that just popped up out of nowhere. We'll call it game 4.5. So what happened was they brought us to in the same area. They had us all turn around. Which at this point, right after the Dokchi game, we were talking we were making small talk with Chandler and basically all the main faces you see on the MrBeast channel. We were having day-to-day conversations with them, the games and the sponsorship of Brawl Stars. I remember saying, hey, I played Brawl Stars before when it first came out. But I'm like, yeah, I kind of just dropped it because it wasn't really, I mean, it was fun.
Cut from
Fun
the
game,
video
man.
right there. Their entire
Wait,
face will just be blurred because you mentioned you don't like Brawl Stars.
Oh, no, not like that. I definitely didn't say anything like it. It was really fun. It was really cool. So what happened is I was talking to Chandler. We even talked to Tyler, Carl a bit. Like, we talked to all of them. It was really cool. Like, getting to talk to these big faces was really cool, and I've always wanted to do that. It was really cool to talk to them. It was really cool. So right after that, we were like, okay, we all turned us. They all had us turn around. 16 of us lucky bastards, all the way up to the end. Now we're at the final stretch. We're going into game 5, and they had us turn around. And they brought in 16 mannequins with Korean numbers on the front. So what we did was they had us turn around and we were looking at them. There's 16 of these mannequins, and we were like, and they're like, on the front of these is Korean numbers. Hopefully you load Korean. But the crazy thing is that 456, the main character of the show, believe it or not, he was still in it.
Rigged.
Still in the games.
Rigged.
I know, and Jimmy was like, dude, people are going to think this is rigged because of that, but you can't control the chances. Like, lucky things happen. 456 made it all the way to game 6. I don't know if 456 won. Who knows?
We'll have to see.
I don't know. I know everything all the way up to the end of game 5. I have no clue what happened, which is why I'm excited to see the video. Because it happened. It was really cool. So they had us pick the numbers, and I was luckily here again. I literally was one of the luckiest people in this competition. I was one of the first people picked to go pick a number. Like, actually, I was super excited. My beautiful chubby face was picked to be, because I had cameras following me when I picked the number. So yeah, I went and picked. I noticed that there were 3 numbers that had 3 characters or 3 symbols. So what I did was I picked a number that had 3 symbols, and it was number 16, the last number and the safest number. So I thought then, but little did I know that would actually be my downfall, was having number 16, but we'll get to that in a sec. So I picked number 16. As you know, I got excited. I screamed. I'm like, let's go, because I got the safest number, I thought. So what happened was,
so far, what is the game? Why did you think you had the safest number?
Glass bridge, because if you're the last on glass bridge, that means you are typically the safest, because everyone else is going to go in front of you.
Okay, so for glass bridge, there wasn't any. You couldn't could you push people?
No.
Okay,
there was no
So MrBeast didn't want to pay for the liability insurance. All right.
Exactly. So it wasn't actual glass, mind you. It was foam. If you saw the video, it was foam, not glass.
Yeah. So you're last on that.
Oh yeah, I'm last, and I thought I was completely safe. Like, I've got this in the bag. I'm moving on for sure. But here's when the problem started. So skip 3 hours. We had dinner on the bus. And then we got to the set where we had tug of war, but it was completely transformed into what is the glass bridge. So what happened was, I remember we got up there, we walked on the platform of the beginning, and I looked at the timer they had up there. It said 15 minutes. I was like, my jaw dropped to the floor. I was like, oh shit. I was like, this isn't good. I'm looking around me, I'm looking at my hands, I'm looking at the floor, I'm like, this isn't good. So, as was said of many producers and the audio people, that was the greatest content part of the video, because there was fighting with it comes to people getting eliminated, falling through the floor. One guy even took 5 jumps. He's a Texas cowboy. He deserves good things in his life. His number, I think it was 010, 010, I think his number was.
So he just fucking balls to the wall. Went 5
he was
different times.
A Texas cowboy. He was the kind of guy to do that kind of shit. And dude, that guy, he jumped 5 spots. He was a really good dude. And he has the audience's heart, in his palm. He has it for sure because of what he did.
Yeah.
So, and I definitely progressed all the way because I was the last person, but I actually skipped 5 or 6 people due to they're like, hey, 2 people can stand on one at once. So I skipped probably about 5 people. At least I think I did. So we got to the end. We were getting really close. There was about 30 seconds left. We kept jumping and moving forward. A couple people got out, and I kept jumping forward. And so, and then we got to like 10 seconds. We're ticking down. It was 10, 9, and I remember 4, 5, 6. We were on the second. He was on the second to last square with like 3 other people, and then he jumped to take the last jump on the left square. They gave the signal. He didn't drop. And after that happened, I looked at the climber. 3 seconds were left. I just jumped. I don't even know how I did, but I jumped. So they said, hey, oh my God, some people might get eliminated. Or some people might have got out. And then they went to go check footage. They came out and they said, hey, these numbers got eliminated. And I'm speaking of the numbers as of the mannequin numbers, like 16 for a couple of the numbers. I was just like, man. But I was like happy. I was like, dude, I got this far in the competition.
Yeah.
Like I beat the odds.
The photo finish though was the fact that like you had like 3 seconds left, you had to go.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like I honestly, when you told me it was a photo finish, because you didn't tell me the game, I honestly assumed you were like doing some sort of foot race. Yeah.
No,
but yeah,
what I thought was I was mid-air when timer hit 0, and I actually wasn't touching the platform. So that's why I think I got out, because I wasn't touching the platform.
Yeah.
Which is completely fine, because I was happy, and I am still happy with how far I got. I got viewership. I'm on camera for 100% sure.
So, yeah, if you got it that far, I'd be very surprised if you weren't like decently on camera for.
I definitely am.
Especially that portion. Yeah. All right. So that's pretty cool. And for those who don't know who you are, where can they find you?
Well, YouTube name is just it's pronounced umbreaux, but it's spelled UMBRE. Hold up, it's UMBREAUX. I'm trying to upload, kind of, sort of. It's more of like I do Pokemon openings. I do some like a couple of Friday night fucking stuff. And I actually have Twitch too. I'm gonna try to start streaming soon. It's also umbreaux as well. Give me a follow. I'm gonna stream the Fortnite live event, which is happening very soon. Really excited about that. So yeah.
Awesome. Cool. Awesome. So that should be cool. MrBeast video from time of recording is probably about to come out in like 30 minutes here. It's 2:27. I think he works on EST. I can't remember.
It's EST.
Yeah, so so that's gonna be really cool. All right. Well, it's definitely nice chatting with you. Definitely nice hearing some of the behind the scenes stuff that we probably won't see in the video.
Yep.
You know, I think I think that should be really cool. And thanks for chatting with me. I have DoorDash that has been sitting outside for about 45 minutes here, but the talk was more important. And unfortunately, I live in the lake effect zone, so it's probably frozen solid right now. But that's perfectly fine with me. You have a wonderful day. You enjoyed that $2,000. I'm expecting a $1,500 pledge on Patreon, of course. But yeah, awesome. And I'm gonna go watch the MrBeast video too. It's gonna be my first full-length MrBeast video. So MrBeast, if you're watching this, because I know you watch me, so you can steal all my video ideas. Umbreaux got me to subscribe to your channel, so they are at least specifically responsible for one new sub, so you should definitely bring them back. All right, that's a 1-for-1, 100% retention rate right there.
You know it.
All right, take care.
I will.